Once upon a time, long, long ago, there lived a poor bamboo cutter who went by the name Kaguya no Kimi. Now, Kaguya no Kimi spent his days cutting down bamboo stalks in the forest and selling them in the village in order to provide for his family. And even though the work was hard and the life was simple, Kaguya no Kimi was a cheerful man, and so he never complained. One day, while working in the forest as usual, he saw something strange. There was a particular stalk of bamboo that had caught his eye, because it seemed to glow with a soft, ethereal light. As he approached it, he could feel a strange energy coming from the bamboo, and he couldn't help but wonder if there was something inside. Curiosity got the better of him, and he took his knife and split the bamboo stalk in half, and to his surprise, out popped a tiny girl, no bigger than his thumb. The girl was shining brightly, almost like moonlight, and she looked at him with big, innocent eyes. Kaguya no Kimi was shocked by what he saw, but he quickly realized that he needed to do something. So without wasting any more time, he carefully picked her up and put her in his bag, and then he headed home. When he arrived home, he told his wife about the strange girl he found in the bamboo, and together they decided to raise her as their own. Over time, the girl grew rapidly, and in no time at all, she was living with them as a normal human being. In fact, she grew up to be the most beautiful woman anyone had ever seen, and she became known as Kaguya, or Princess Kaguya. By now, the old couple were very proud of the young lady they had raised, but they also knew that someday she would leave them and live her own life. After all, she was too beautiful to spend her entire life in their small village. It wasn't long before many young men came to visit Kiano, hoping to become her husband. However, none of them were good enough for her, and she turned them all down. That is, until one day when a tall, handsome man came to visit. His name was Iramasu, and he was known throughout the land as the strongest and most valiant warrior. When Kaguya saw him, she felt a connection with him that she had never felt before, and she decided that he was the only one worthy of becoming her husband. The two quickly fell in love, and after a few months, they decided to get married. At the wedding, Kaguya looked radiant. She wore a beautiful white dress and a crown made of pure gold. And when she entered the ceremony, everyone gasped in amazement. The reception was filled with laughter, music, and dancing, and everyone celebrated the union of two hearts in love. However, after the wedding, things started to change. Kaguya became more distant and cold, and she didn't spend much time with her new husband. Instead, she would spend hours alone in her room, crying. No one knew why she was so sad, but her husband was worried about her. One day, he followed her into her room and asked her what was wrong. Kaguya hesitated at first, but eventually she opened up to him. She told him that she didn't belong on Earth, and that she had to return to her home planet. She also told him that she had been sent to Earth as a baby in a bamboo stalk, and that the bamboo cutter and his wife had found her and raised her as their own. She told him that she had been living on Earth for many years, and that it was time for her to go home. Her husband was devastated when he heard this. He couldn't believe that she had been hiding this from him for so long. But he knew that he couldn't keep her on Earth against her will, so he promised to help her return home. Together, the two left the kingdom and traveled deep into the forest. There, they found a giant bamboo stalk, which was pulsing with a soft, ethereal light. Kaguya knew that this was the one. She thanked her husband for everything he had done for her, and then she climbed into the bamboo stalk and disappeared. Then, just like that, the bamboo stalk stopped glowing, and Kaguya was gone. Her husband was heartbroken, but he knew that she had to go home. He sat down next to the bamboo stalk and started to cry. Suddenly, he felt something wet on his hand. He looked down and saw that it was a ring. The ring was made of pure gold and had a beautiful jewel in the center. He knew that this was a gift from Kaguya, and he cherished it for the rest of his life. And now let us tell you how Kaguya returned home. When the bamboo stalk glowed, a cloud appeared above it, and soon hundreds of figures came out of it. All of them were beautiful and elegant, and they were Kaguya's family. They had come to take her back to the Moon Kingdom. Kaguya was overjoyed to see her family again, and they all hugged each other tightly. Then they all got onto the cloud together and flew away into the sky. As they ascended higher and higher, the figures started to fade away, and Kaguya realized that she was truly going home. She had left Earth behind, and now she was returning to the Moon Kingdom. Kaguya and her family flew through the cosmos for many years, and finally they reached their destination. It was a beautiful planet made entirely of gold, and it shone brightly in the darkness of space. Kaguya's family landed on the planet, and then they all got off the cloud. Kaguya was so happy to be home, and she spent the next few years living with her family and friends. She missed Earth sometimes, but she knew that she had to move on. She had a new life ahead of her, and she was excited to see what the future would bring. However, there was one thing that Kaguya couldn't forget, and that was her time on Earth. She thought about the people she had met, the places she had seen, and the lessons she had learned. She realized that her time on Earth had been a blessing, and she was grateful for the experience. Kaguya lived happily in the Moon Kingdom for many years, and she never forgot about her time on Earth. She often looked up at the moon and remembered the beautiful planet she had once called home. And sometimes when the stars aligned just right, she could even see the face of her husband, Iyaramasu, looking back at her from afar. Now, many years later, when Kaguya was an old woman, she gathered her family and friends and told them about her time on Earth. She told them about the beautiful planet, the amazing people she had met, and the exciting adventures she had experienced. She also told them about the love she had found on Earth and how she had to choose between her two worlds. Her family and friends were amazed by her stories, and they couldn't believe that such a beautiful planet existed in the vastness of space. Kaguya showed them the ring that Iyaramasu had given her, and they all marveled at its beauty. Then Kaguya's family and friends asked her if she would return to Earth with them. They wanted to see the planet for themselves, and they were curious to meet the people who lived there. Kaguya agreed, and so the whole family set off on a spaceship to Earth. They landed in the same forest where Kaguya had first arrived, and they all stepped out of the spaceship. Kaguya's family and friends were amazed by the beauty of Earth. They had never seen so much green in one place, and they loved the sound of the birds and the smell of the flowers. They also met some friendly humans who welcomed them and showed them around. Kaguya's family and friends were so impressed by the beauty of Earth and its people that they decided to stay there for a while. They visited many places and experienced many new things, and they made many friends along the way. Kaguya was so happy to show her family and friends the planet that had become her home. She knew that they would never forget their trip to Earth, and she hoped that they would return again someday. After spending many happy years on Earth, Kaguya and her family and friends decided to return to the Moon Kingdom. They boarded their spaceship and said goodbye to Earth. As they ascended into space, they all looked back at the beautiful blue planet and waved. Kaguya knew that she would miss Earth, but she was also excited to return home. She'd missed her people, and she couldn't wait to see them again. When they arrived in the Moon Kingdom, Kaguya's family and friends were greeted with a huge celebration. All of the citizens had come out to welcome them back, and there were parades and fireworks and music. Kaguya was so happy to be home, and she spent the next few years living with her family and friends in the Moon Kingdom. She never forgot about her time on Earth, and she often looked up at the moon and remembered the beautiful planet she had once called home. If you enjoyed this enchanting tale of Princess Kaguya and her journey from the moon to Earth, we invite you to check out our other videos. Each video is like a treasure chest filled with exciting adventures, valuable life lessons, and unforgettable characters that will keep you entertained and inspired. Just click on the videos suggested above and get ready to be captivated by more wonderful stories from around the world. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on any of our magical tales. Thank you for watching, and we wish you a world of happiness and joy.